with Sonoran Mystic Tarot, and I am so glad you stopped by. This is your monthly reading for January 2022. Yes, it is a new year already. So excited, lots of great energy, and Lord knows it's good to have 2021 behind us because there's so much more to come. With that said, let's take a peek at what Tarot has in store for you. I've shuffled the deck earlier, and I'm going to shuffle it a little bit more, and then we'll get going. Let's see what Tarot has in store for you. Love the first card. It's the Justice card, and then we follow that card with the Seven of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and then the Victory card, the Chariot. The Movement card is the last card in the deck. In the reading. So let's take a peek here at what we're seeing. First and foremost is your energy for the month. The first energy, the most important energy, of course, is yours. And it is Justice card, the Justice card. When the Justice card comes out, it's telling us that this month is a month of trying to find balance in your life, trying to get things taken care of. There's some things that are out of balance with you, or things that have not been taken care of that are causing an imbalanced situation. A lot of maybe some stress, maybe some issues, that kind of stuff. And so when you see the Justice card is saying it's time to find balance. It's time to put yourself back in balance. Or it could literally be a Justice card as in there's some legal issues that are at play, or could be at play this month. And so if it's the case, when there is a Justice card here in the beginning of a month or during the month, and you are that energy, be careful to make sure that you're making good decisions, making sure that you're not getting yourself into something that could complicate things, because again, with that Justice energy, that could be the situation. However, again, as I read this, I'm looking at this two ways. And so let's go through both ways. First of all, again, is that balance. So we're going to do the balance, and then we'll do the Justice second. The Justice card here, if you're looking at balance, it's saying you're out of balance, and you're out of balance because, again, something's not right, something's not aligned. And part of the alignment, it could be a friend, a relationship, it could be a fellow co-worker, it could be an employer. There's somebody who's not being quite honest with you, not being quite truthful with you. That Seven of Swords energy is the energy of somebody who is not being honest. Again, somebody who is talking behind your back. Somebody who's doing some things that are not good for you. And so this person here is causing a little bit of a conflict in this situation. And when it's a conflict in this situation, of course, it creates the balance or the lack thereof. And so it gets things off to a situation. They're telling you here that when you see this, if this is the situation, then this is the time that you need to step up. And this is the time that you need to make decisions, sometimes hard decisions. And hard decisions are setting somebody straight. Maybe it's not in your energy. Maybe it's not the person you want to be, that person who can say, hey, you got to step off. But this is the person you have to be. This is what they call, quote unquote, and excuse me for saying this, the bitchy queen, because this is the queen who will stand up and take notice and then come at you. She's not afraid to come at you if you're doing her wrong, or her family wrong, or those things wrong. And so again, if this person is this, then you've got to take control. This is telling you take control. Now be patient with them. Find a way to do it in a wise way, in a good way, but head on and do it. Take it on and make this person realize if they're going to continue this behavior, then they got to step on over, because this is not the kind of person you want in your life. This is, again, bringing you a lack of balance. Don't worry, you're going to make the situation better. It's going to happen. You're going to have the conversation, and then you're going to move on. You're going to move on from it, and they're going to move on from it. Now, I cannot tell you right now, we'll look at it in a minute, which way this is going to play itself out. But generally speaking, that is what I see. Now, if that is the case, let's go ahead and look underneath here, by the way, the Star card. The Star card is a lot of energy this month. And so again, a lot of energy is going to carry you through. You're going to be doing some really good work this month with this, because this is going to get you through. You're going to get through this. So this month is dealing with, again, that person. Now, if we're going with that reading, let's see what else we have here. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, it's going to be a situation around money. Maybe somebody who's not been honest with you about money. Somebody who's not been honest with you about expenses or something like that. It's all about the money situation. You're going to learn some news about money, and you're going to realize that somebody's not been quite honest with you. There's a Resting card. A Resting card means that also, when you see this card with the Queen, is that once you do your work, once you do what you got to do, then don't hesitate to give yourself a rest and kind of recuperate, because it's going to kind of wear you out. It's going to tire you out. It's going to put you through a little bit of a mess. Not a mess as in physical. It's more of an emotional mess. It's going to be you don't want to go there. You don't want to be that person. That's not really who you want to be. But unfortunately, this situation calls for it. So when it happens, you're like, okay, I will do that. I will be that person. But when it's done, I'm going to recover from it because I'm not going to feel good, totally good about it. But you had to do it. You got to do it because you got to bring your finances back into alignment again. So again, this is that King of Pentacles. You got to keep that King of Pentacles. You got to bring the finances in alignment. Again, if they told you something that wasn't true, if they were deceptive and were devious about this, you got to take care of it. You got to do it. And it's going to bring you happiness, though. That's the good part, that happiness card. The Ace of Cups is renewed happiness. And again, so when you see this, again, you need to take a step. You need to take a stance. You need to get moving with this, and it's going to work itself out. Don't worry. Again, this is a month of figuring out who is not being quite right with you, who is not being true with you with money. Take the steps necessary to change it. The information is not, the information is important, so get the information. The information is everything. It is everything. And don't be wishy-washy. Make the decision. Again, happiness is on the horizon. Put this grief to rest. Put it to rest. Bring it to an end. This is the end of a cycle. Again, you have new coming in. The end of the cycle, bringing the end of pain and frustration and anger, bringing in new and happiness. And that is a wonderful thing. So that is how we look at it if we're looking at the deceptiveness. Now, if we look at this as the justice being not a balanced situation, but instead being a situation where we are looking at a justice situation, a legal situation, then again, what it's telling you is that if it is a legal situation that arises, this is an energy for a legal situation month. And so if it is, make sure you're doing things wisely. Make sure you're staying within what you need to do. Also, make sure that you're being careful with what information is provided to you. As people bring you information, as people bring you opportunities, make sure you're paying attention to them. They're not necessarily, you may not necessarily have all the information you need to make sure that you're on top of it, but you can be. And so this is a time to be in control. Ask the questions, know the information. This is not an emotional time. This is a business time. So again, if things are happening this month, if you're getting into business situations, if you're running a business, if you're having some situations with people having control of certain aspects of your finances or your business, then you need to be asking questions and be totally knowledgeable. You'll overcome it. Don't worry. You will overcome it, but you don't want to get involved in anything necessarily quickly because, again, that Justice card is there, so it's telling you that energy. Now, what else is it trying to warn us about? Let's give us some information. Okay, this could be, there's a lot of little issues, again, a lot of little issues that are popping up. And so you could feel like you're overwhelmed at some point. You could be like overworked and you overlook something. Do not overlook something. Again, this is not a month to overlook something because, again, you're in a justice energy. The next thing it is again, there's the patient nines. There's two nines right there. So again, this will not last long. This energy is only lasting for a period of time in the month. We're looking at maybe the first 2 weeks of the month because of the nines and the high cards. It's telling us that it's going to be like the first 2 weeks, but there'll be first 2 weeks of a lot of this kind of concern or whatever. So just sit back, make no decisions, sit back, relax, chill out, and make sure, most importantly, that that you're looking toward what makes you happiest. The happiness is important because it's going to lead you to that. Also, watch your money closely. Be careful about how you spend it, what you're spending on. And then there's the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is bringing in news. Again, that news, that information. So that information that's coming in can help you better make decisions. Make sure that, again, you're looking for information. In this case, they're not bringing news in. As I see this, there's news to be had. And so you need to look toward news. You need to look toward information. You need to be informed. You need to be knowledgeable. This is wonderful. The King of Cups is saying if you follow the situation and you do this, understanding that the justice system is here, understanding that that legal energy is above you, that you will come through this just fine. If I were you, Cancer, I would take both of these readings because they both fit very well. They are both telling you one thing, and that's, first of all, getting back to balance, understanding that someone's not been honest with you, understanding that there is deceptive behaviors around you, understanding that maybe even those deceptive behavior can put you into a legal situation. So making sure you're asking information, making sure you're knowing what you're talking about, making sure you're never too busy to ask the question, making sure you're never too busy to wonder what's next, and also taking the time to consider all possibilities. And again, working with your finances, looking at those finances, keep control of how people are spending money, keep control of how you're spending money. Don't be afraid to ask the questions, and if you need to kick somebody to the curb, get it done. That's what I'm seeing here. Again, there are two separate readings, but they work together in unison. So I would suggest taking both of them, owning them. They are important to say the least. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Judgment card. Oh my gosh, the Justice and the Judgment. Again, this deck is telling you the same thing. It's seeing the same thing. You do the work, put the work in. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. The next is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands sitting there. The Queen of Wands is telling you again with this Nine of Wands and this Queen of Energy is like, take control. Don't let somebody else control this. Don't let it just go to circumstance. The High Priestess is saying, don't worry. Again, it's over top of the Victory card, and the High Priestess like, you're going to be okay with this. This is going to be okay. Own your impact. Own your common sense. Know what it is, because when you see this card, it's the connection between the conscious and the subconscious. It's the connection between what is it you cannot see. Again, the Star card and energies with that, and make sure that you're asking those questions. Make sure that you're getting the information you need. Okay, so with that said, I am seeing that both decks have now confirmed kind of the same thing. And I'll be damned, look underneath this, the bottom card of the deck, the Seven of Swords in this deck, the Seven of Swords here, that's that devious energy. Again, be warning. It's warning you about that devious energy, that energy of somebody not being honest, not being true, or not giving you accurate information. So with that said, I will let you go. Again, be cautious. This is a month of caution for you. But don't worry, good things are coming as well. With that, take care. This is Don with Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and the like button. We'll talk later, and see you next week for another reading from Sonoran Mystic Tarot.